The devastation in the Niger Delta owing to gas flaring, oil spillages and illegal bunkering has been an age-long concern. Although previous administrations have taken steps to tackle these issues, the present administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is intensifying effort at restoring biodiversity in the environment with the Ogoni Land Cleanup Project, which started in 2017 as a template for the remediation of the entire Niger Delta region. Today on Panorama on NTA Port Harcourt Network Center, we shall be taking a look at how far the efforts of the federal government have paid off. I am Jenny Bassi. Panorama continues shortly. The federal government is implementing reforms that are already repositioning Nigeria as a hub for innovation, private sector growth, and international conference. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, stated these at the renewed Hope Global Dialogue in London. Frama Panye reports.
The theme, strengthening global partnerships for economic renewal and national rebranding under the renewed Hope administration, brought together leaders, investors and experts to discuss collaborative pathways for Nigeria's economic growth and global reputation. Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris highlighted the impact of President Tinubu's administration on Nigerians. Idris said the federal government has evolved the ease of doing business to attract foreign direct investment as well as making Nigeria the investors' hub on the continent of Africa.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is indeed a man who understands how to leverage strategic partnerships for growth and for the advancement of his dear country. We now have in Nigeria a unified rate regime. For those of you who may not know, we used to have a situation where investors were finding it difficult to know what the exchange rate was at the time. And we had multiple exchange rates in Nigeria, but when the president came, he said this had to stop. This in addition to a major reform that he took by removing this monster called fuel subsidy in Nigeria. The monster has been there with us for almost 4 decades.
With the country out of the grey list, the world is seeing Nigeria as an emerging economy and investors' destination. In Abuja, Frama Panye, NTA News.
Behind every successful family is a mother whose story is defined by prayers, sacrifice and perseverance, attributes mothers must bequeath to their families while alive. These are the words of Vice President Kashim Shettima at a funeral in honor of late Madam Enosoro, mother of the Deputy Governor of Operation Central Bank of Nigeria, Usoro. Clement Barikwi has the details.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, while consoling the Usoro family, says their mother raised her family not just to succeed, but to serve, teaching them that excellence without empathy is emptiness. Vice President Shettima acknowledged her sterling character, which he said is worthy of emulation by all mothers.
The height and Ms. Toro has attained in public service as a Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Tells the story of a mother who refused to settle for mediocrity, who believed that her child will compete with the best of the world's minds as they remain anchored in prayer. This is the story we must all aspire to be told about us.
All the governor is looking for from the federal government now is just a deep seaport to complement the progress of the state. It's a deep seaport. It's a deep seaport. All the members of the House of Representatives, National Assembly, all of us were behind the governor.
We trust that in your brief stay in Akwa Ibom, you will enjoy the stay and you will continue to work with our son, the distinguished Senate President, to give us the very best from Abuja.
Clement Barikui, NTA News.
Trust that
Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Shehu Mohammed says the Corps will continue to sustain its 24-hour driver's license production across the country, while urging Nigerians yet to get their driver's license to go to the centers for application for immediate collection. This statement becomes evident during a visit to the Lagos State mini print farm to reveal activities there. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
Of continuous printing and issuance of driver's licenses by the Federal Road Safety Corps. Driver's license collection at the Corps' offices nationwide have experienced an avalanche of people who have come to retrieve the valid documents. A visit to the Lagos State Command of the Corps reveals non-stop activities with continuous attendance to people on a daily basis. Mrs. Moteliola Onofeko is one of those who have come for renewal of a driver's license. She explains her experience at the center.
The process is okay and they give the elderly preference.
Just like Mrs. Moteliola, Calvin Chinedu has as well come for his renewal, and he talked about what happened and how long he had stayed.
I came this morning and they organized, we even had lecture this morning about the road sign and pattern of driving, but it's okay. And look at now, I'm just about to do my capturing.
The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, had directed a 24-hour operation in all driver's license centers with the target of settling all backlogs by continuous production of driver's licenses. At this mini print farm in Lagos State, 15,000 cards are produced daily, and within 2 weeks, over 100,000 have been produced, aside 1,850 licenses produced per hour. For now, about 51,257 driver's licenses are unclaimed across the 25 centers in the state, a source of concern to the Corps.
Production from the input of the machine to the output takes less than 20 seconds for a card to be out. So it means we can produce over 1,800 in 1 hour.
For the officers of the Corps, especially at this print firm, no slumbering, all hands remain on deck, operating shifts to ensure all targets are met, and the machines remain active 24 hours. And for the people, no more doubts. The Corps says, take a step, and surely their driver's licenses are waiting to be collected. From Lagos, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps in Rivers State has launched its 2025 Ember Month Public Enlightenment and Sensitization campaign with a call on passengers to take responsibility for their safety. Sector Commander Inyangumo, during the flag-off campaign, emphasized the importance of passengers being vigilant and conscious of drivers who violate traffic rules and regulations. Informa Omesa reports that the campaign is aimed at promoting road safety awareness and reducing the risk of accident during the Ember months.
The River State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Ian Umo, while briefing journalists on the need to create awareness on necessary precautionary measures against road crashes during Ember months, emphasized the importance of adhering to traffic rules. Ember months, he said, are characterized by increased travel, higher traffic volume, and a corresponding rise in road crash injuries, with the theme taking responsibility for your safety. Stop distracted driving. Umo urged the motoring public to prioritize safety at all times while using the roads.
Federal Road Safety Corps Rivers State Command has mapped out the following actionable measures: deployment of reference personnel and special marshals across major highways and crash-prone corridors statewide. Free vehicle check exercise to improve vehicle roadworthiness. Conducting motor park rallies and motorcade carnivals statewide to raise awareness level of motorists and general public.
The FRSC hopes the 2025 Ember Months campaign will promote safer roads and better lives for changing road traffic behavior. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Umisa, NTA News.
The Niger Delta environment is reportedly one of the most endangered ecosystems around the world due to long years of oil pollution. However, in the last 8 years, the federal government has intensified remediation of some parts of the wetland with the purpose of restoring biodiversity. Robinson Darataide examines the impact of the restoration efforts and its benefits to people of the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta environment is the fourth largest wetland in the world with rich biodiversity, including mangroves providing avenue for the breeding of different species of marine lives. Long years of devastation of the environment arising from oil spillages, gas flaring, and illegal bunkering has left marine lives and mangroves almost wiped out.
Our plants, our waterways, our fishing areas have been affected by oil spills.
Efforts of the federal government in tackling this environmental issue has continued to yield positive results, and one of such is the setting up of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, using Ogoni land as a template for remediation. In the last 8 years, more than 35 oil-polluted lots have been remediated, with more work ongoing on groundwater remediation and mangrove plantation in Ogoni land.
Our assessment of the cleanup thus far is that we have experienced tremendous success.
We should do everything within our human powers to making sure that we do not deliberately hurt the environment again.
Environmental activists argue that time for the extension of the remediation to other parts of the region is ripe.
Now is the time for a complete audit of the environment of the Niger Delta and the health of the people of the Niger Delta, and a commencement of a thorough cleanup, that's remediation, restoration, and reparations.
What is happening in Ogoni land should also happen in other places in the Niger Delta.
The people are advised against repollution of remediated environment to justify federal government's investment in the affected region. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Darataide, NTA News.
And on that, we have in our studio Elder Christian Lekia. Elder Christian Lekia is the chairman of Ogoni Civil Society Stakeholders Forum, and he's right here in the studio. It is my pleasure to have you on the.
The greater pleasure is mine to be here with you as well.
Thank you. Now, let's look at the environmental issues, particularly in the Niger Delta. So, how serious are the environmental issues here in the region?
The Niger Delta is a product of a peculiar conflict background, and our people have lived mainly on farming and fishing. So when all of this happened, that as a result of oil exploration by companies who never really looked at, I saw the need to go into responsible exploration by undermining the health of both the people who live in the region as well as the environment from where they tap this gold. We suffer great setback, and thank God for UNEP who came to do that, carry out that investigation in Ogoni. That is a template and a litmus test, you know, and they came up with very serious findings on the level of benzene contaminated underwater, meaning that that cancer-causing element was there present in the kind of water we've been taking. And no wonder people keep dying on a daily basis. And I tell you that one of the most lucrative businesses, you know, in Ogoni today is that of the mortuary, the morgue, you know, and I'm sure that all of that is common everywhere in the Niger Delta. So it's a very serious issue, although the steps have been taken to look at the situation in Ogoni. And if you look at the pace at which it's going right now, more work needs to be done for us to get it fixed in Ogoni. But beyond Ogoni, everywhere in the Niger Delta is going through the same experience. So I agree totally that so much work needs to be done. The same kind of investigation that was carried out in Ogoni should also be extended to other parts of the Niger Delta. We are one people with a common history, and we're going through the same problem. And so I will want the government to also look at the need to carry the entire Niger Delta together and so that this problem can be properly fixed.
Okay, now, talking about the steps taken by the federal government, over the years, the issues of remediation in Ogoniland has been a subject of conversation. How successful have the steps taken by the federal government been?
I'll tell you, like you know, the issue of remediation and high prep coming was strange. It's not something that had been before. So it was a pilot project. So when we saw it as, initially we thought it was one of those steps taken by government to just pacify us in order to allay our fears and get their way into oil resumption. But I can tell you that after a while, particularly with the current project coordinator of HYPREP, he opened the doors for stakeholders to come in. Most of us, we are asking very pertinent questions. We have been allowed to get involved and a series of engagements. So we got responses from the project coordinating office, and we also had certain convictions. We asked questions, as a product of the civil society space. I'll tell you that the civil society is the conscience of every society. So we can't undermine the need for the proper thing to be done by agencies like that. So I can tell you today that with the level of engagement and with what we've seen, the fears we had initially had been drastically reduced, and we have confidence in the process because of the regular engagement that has been going on. And we believe that if this continues and the agency gets the kind of support, the project gets the kind of support that is required, we will be hopeful that very soon we will be on the same page with government. But although we want this same experience to be carried out, the same experiment, the investigation that happened by UNEP, HYPREP can still carry out the same thing in other parts of the Niger Delta, so that the entire Niger Delta will be carried along, and nobody will be left, or no part of the Niger Delta should be left behind. So
that means stakeholders' engagement is the major key or steps taken to address the remediation.
Most of the projects that they've undertaken are quite visible, and with the level of visibility and getting involved in the process, they came up to say, own this process. Right. We're working for you. So with that kind of mutual confidence being built, I think the progress, there is progress on the part of the project. And we also believe that our brothers also need to have this kind of experience so that we can all be safe. We can be safe together, environmentally speaking, and in terms of human lives too.
Of course, previous administrations have tried so much in this HYPREP. Now, let's look at what is this administration under President Bola Tinubu doing differently from previous administration?
Well, you know that when we started our advocacy for a safer environment and a safer life under Abuja, if the government had been open to discussion and dialogue, most of the conflict experience wouldn't have been there. But right here, you see a government, what we expected from the Abuja administration, the Tinubu administration is doing it right. So I think they've gotten that right, by engaging with the people, and they are beginning to come up with policies and programs. We now have, with the success that HYPREP is recording, you have the Federal University of Environment and Technology in Ogoni now. We also have the Center of Excellence. In fact, Ogoni is fast becoming a reference decimal when it comes to environmental remediation and investigations there now. So the government is taking it very serious, but what they need to do again is to step up the confidence building process, because like the agency, the project coordinator, the HYPREP was just being created through an executive figure. It needs to be backed up by an act of parliament. So to ensure, to give hope to the Niger Delta that, look, this project that we started here was not just started because we want to go back to get to Ogoni oil, but we want to truly clean the entire Niger Delta. So let them back it up with an act of parliament, because what UNEP reported was recommended was not HYPREP, but an Ogoni restoration project, environmental project. But they saw the need to extend it to other parts. So let them make good that promise and that need by extending and ensuring that all of this happen. So they've tried. They need to do more, so that not just Ogonis but the entire Niger Delta will be confident that now the government is beginning to take steps to address the core issues that led to the conflict between oil-bearing communities and the federal government.
Okay, so briefly before I let you go, can you say that an end is in sight over these lingering issues?
Well, like I said before, this project is by the timetable of UNEP was supposed to be a 30-year project, and an initial $1 billion was recommended for the first 5 years. The project have gone on for about a decade now, and we still have 2 decades. And the funds, the funding partners, have not remitted, as much as they ought to have, because the first 5 years is gone, and we expect that the federal government, who is in the driver's seat now, should make good their promise by making the expected contribution that was required of them for the $1 billion, the initial $1 billion to have happened.
Thank you.
And we're also looking forward to more funding so that the project can actually be kept alive.
Thank you so much, Elder Christian Lekia. Elder Christian Lekia, they're talking on issues surrounding high prep. It was nice having you on Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
We'll now pause for a break. Panorama continues shortly. Stay with us. National Youth Service Corps members serving in Kolokuma, Opokuma local government area in Bayelsa State have been assured of their safety and well-being. The chairman of the council, Tari Lailai, gave the assurance while responding to the case of a missing corps member, Anyanwu Chimezie, serving in Kayama. Ebinimiziti Miyala reports.
This is Kayama, headquarters of Kolokuma local government area, and is host to the orientation camp of the National Youth Service Corps here in Bayelsa State. Anyanwu Chimezie, a 24-year-old corps member serving in Kayama, was declared missing by the Bayelsa State Police Command. Chimezie was last seen leaving his residence on October 6, 2025 at about 7 a.m. Community Development Committee Chairman of Kayama Community and the Council Chairman Kolokuma local government area expressed concern over the unfortunate incident.
Up till this minute as we speak, we are still searching for the copper. The mother of the copper too has come. The worst thing is that he didn't even go out with his phone. He kept his phone in his lodge and went out.
What happened is an unfortunate incident, but we're on top of it. We have not relented. Every conventional security is on top of the matter. And as we speak with you, we have related with the families, we have met with the father, we have met with the mother and other relatives.
The Bayelsa State Police Command is soliciting the cooperation of members of the public with useful information to call the Police Public Relations Officer on 0703-270-2984 or Mr. Anyanwu Simeon on 0805-322-9939. From Kayama, Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
And that's it on Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.